The 9th of October, Rabbi Levitt, Gemora.
Sorry. Okay. All right. Bava Metzia. All right. Okay. Where are we holding here?
We're on 10b.
10b.
I think we are in the discussion about the Kohen who says, "Go betroth this woman for me." I think we may have finished that.
All right. Okay. So that's what we were explaining. Now, actually, the Rashis, I don't think we did them. Actually, there's a Rashi over here that bringing all the sources for these cases. I think it starts with Kaddish Li Isha Gerusha. I think we read the first line, and then we have to continue from there. So that is it's about 15 lines from the bottom of the Rashis, and it's the first word in the line is Dibur Maskil Avid.
Okay, so
then,
it's betrothed for me a woman who is a divorcee.
Right, the Kohen is saying this.
Umi sha'as kiddushin over mishum lo yikchu. At the time of the marriage, there is a violation because of the prohibition of yikchu is to marry.
Yeah, literally, this is a language. It means to take, and the Chazal understood that this language of lo yikachu, don't take, is referring to the kiddushin that's made.
Right.
So even before he lives with her, it's a Torah violation even to take her by kiddushin. And that's a pasuk, wherever that pasuk is. That's pasuk. It's quoted in the Gemora. Okay.
Okay. Let's see. Isha Eina Be'azhar Ras Lo Tekifu Lefi She'ena Bavo Chashchis Pa'as Ziknich Kidam Amar B'Kedushin. Let's see. So it's a woman that is not. What is Ba'az Ras?
She's not forewarned. She doesn't have a Torah prohibition.
Okay. She's not forewarned. Lokaf Tekifu. What's Tekifu?
Lo tekifu means to take off the corners of the hair on the corners of the face.
Oh, right. Okay. This is the case where where he asked a woman to cut the payas.
Yeah.
And so this is a case where the woman was not warned that she's not allowed to do this.
No, she doesn't have a warning. The Torah doesn't forbid a woman in this prohibition.
Okay.
Like this is a parallel case to the case of the Cohen that tells the Israel to go be the agent for him to marry a divorced woman.
Right. The fee she'ena bibal, because she isn't a man. Chiyuv. So
because she isn't doesn't have the prohibition of bal tashchis pas kanecha, because she also doesn't have the prohibition of destroying the corners of the beard.
Right. B'damar b'kedushin, as it says in kedushin, v'ham kif es hakatan chayev sheha makif be'azara keni kaf b'kasiv lo takifu echad ha-nikaf ve'echad ha-makif b'mashma b'mas. Let's try to translate that. So she's not obligated concerning cutting off payas, as it says in kedushin. I don't know what's hamakif.
Okay, the makif is the one that's actively doing the removal. There's two people here that Rashi's talking about. He's talking about a makif with a man, and then he's talking about a nikuf, a nikaf, the one that is having the payas removed.
Okay, so the makif is a child.
No, he's the one who's doing the act of removing the payas of the cotton.
Of the child. Okay, he's removing the payas of the child. So he is obligated through a warning in the Torah. Kenikaf. Like the one who is having his payas removed.
Right. In other words, you might have thought to say, "Oh, I didn't remove my own payas. I removed somebody else's payas. So he's the one that gets the prohibition." No, you removed his payas. You're also chayev. Hamakif es hakotan, the one who actively does the act of removing the payas of the cotton, chayev, he's liable. I guess in this case we're talking about a man who does have that prohibition to remove payas from his own head. So even though he does it to somebody else, that is he's going to be chayev for that act. Shehamakif ba'azhara kenikaf. Because the makif, the one who's actively doing the act, even though it's on somebody else's head, he is also, the Torah warns him not to do that, just like it warns the nikaf that he shouldn't have his payas removed.
Okay.
So
save low to kifu achas, and it is written, don't remove one of them.
Diksiv lo takifu, because it's written in the pasuk lo sakifu, and I think the point is lo sakifu is a plural conjugation. In other words, the two of you or more, you should not remove payos. Why does the Torah have to say the two of you? Who's the two? Who's the two of you that we're talking about? Why doesn't the Torah just say talk to one person? You as a Jew should not remove your payos, right? So the Gemora says, the Gemora darshans that the reason why it says in a plural conjugation is because it's talking to both the one who's having the payas removed, even though he's not doing the act itself of removing them, and also to the one who's actually doing the act of removing payas, even though they're not being removed from, he's not having any payas removed from his own head. So both of them, ekada nikaf, ve'ekada makif, b'mashma. That's implied in the plural conjugation of the pasuk when it says lo sakifu, that you, meaning you group of people, two or more, you shouldn't violate this prohibition of having or removing payas.
Okay, and we get that from Nazir.
The Maseches Nazir. Yeah, that drasha is over there in Maseches Nazir. Yeah.
The katan denikat mishum de sasma gadol lo shavik the kufi nafshed, that the child that that is having his past removed what is satma?
Istama.
The stomach that he's plainly, if he were a regular adult,
Right.
Lo shavik. What's shavik?
He wouldn't allow.
He wouldn't allow his payers to be removed.
Yeah.
So in other words, because he's a child, he's overpowered.
Well, Rashi's explaining why it is that the Gemora is bringing an example of removing the payas of a katan. Why couldn't it be removing the payas of a gadol? What's the idea of removing the payas of a katan over here? That's what Rashi's saying. He's saying the katan, the nokat. The word nokat means that we took. That we took in the example in the Gemora of the case to talk about a katan as opposed to a gadol. Why did we do that? That's the question that's bothering Rashi, and so Rashi's explaining mishum, because the stama, because ordinarily in an ordinary scenario, gadol lo shavika la kufet nafshe, an adult who knows that there's a prohibition against this, he would not allow somebody else to just go and remove his payas. So this that we're talking about, Jew number one telling this woman to remove the payas of a katan, because if it would have been an adult, if it would have been a gadol, so then the gadol wouldn't have allowed the woman to do that. So that's why the example is with a katan. That's the whole reason why we brought a case of a katan. That's what Rashi says. Okay. Okay, that's that Rashi, and that's that section of the Gemora. And now the Gemora. So basically, what did we do? We defended the Gemora's estimation of Reish Lakish, that the reason that he holds the way he holds, that a katana does not have a chotzer, that you cannot put the get into the chotzer of the katana, is because chotzer works as a shliach. And there's no shlichus for a cut, so that's why it doesn't work. No agency for a cut. Okay, so now the Gemara is going to challenge the other view of how it is that we understand Rabbi Yochanan. The Gemara said that Rabbi Yochanan says katana yesh lo chatzer. She does have a chatzer to be able to receive the get. It will work. If the Baal puts the get into the chotzer instead of giving it into her hand, it'll also be equally effective to make the get will be effective. And why is that? Because the Gemara explained that Rabbi Yochanan holds that chotzer works mitam yad. It's an extended hand of the owner of the chotzer. So just like you would put the get into the hand of this katana, that would surely be an effective way of giving the get. So too, you could do in the chotzer, put it in the chotzer, that'll also work according to Rabbi Yochanan, and he said that was because that the chotzer is like a yad of the person, of the owner of it. Now the Gemara challenges. Roy, would you like to continue the reading? Umi ikka lamanda omar chotzer lav mishum yada israboy. Oi, Phil has been waiting. I hope he hasn't been waiting long. I didn't see him before. Where is that? This is the last, the 3 lines from the bottom of the page, right in the middle of the line it starts. So mi ikka.
On what, 10B1? 10B?
10b. Good morning, Phil.
Good morning, week. Sorry I'm a little late here. I am walking home. I can hear you. If you
Okay,
good.
good.
If you need me to turn the mic off because it's too loud, you'll let me know.
10B3? Okay.
Actually, I could turn it off anyway because it's not like, I haven't got the Gemara to read, so.
Okay. We'll see you soon.
All right.
Oh, we see you, but we'll hear you soon.
So what's
It's 10b,
yeah.
and it's 3 lines from the bottom of the page. So it would be in your it would be your last page of 10b art scroll.
Right. So what am I reading then? What's it from?
Umi ika lamanda omar.
Ika.
Right in the middle of the 3rd line from the bottom.
No. But Ika, I haven't got them.
2 words, umi, ika.
Oh, Umi Ika. I can see it in the Gemara there. Umi. Oh, I see. Right. Umi Ika למען דאמר, חוצר לן משום ידו is Rabbi. Is there anyone who can say that a wife's acquisition of a bill of divorce by means of a courtyard is not derived from her acquisition by means of her hand? V'hasanya, that was taught in a brisa, Yada, the Torah states that the husband places the bill of divorce in her hand. Ainli Elo Yada, I know only that she is divorced if it is placed in her hand. Naga Chatzira V'Karapa Minain. From where do I know that she is divorced if it is placed in her roof of her courtyard or her enclosure? Where do I know that she is divorced if it is placed in her roof, her courtyard, or her enclosure? Makom.
Talmud Lomar.
Oh, Amdaloma Lomar Lomar V'Nasein Makom. Therefore, the Torah states that the verse he places, which implies anywhere in her possession. Thus, the brisa indicates that acquisition by courtyard is not derived from the law of agency. The Gemora must therefore revise its understanding of the dispute between Reb Lakish and Reb Yochanan.
Okay, let's take a look. We have a Rashi over here. Phil looks like he's still out and about. So Lou is going to be working overtime here today. He's got another nice sized Rashi over here to read.
Okay. Let's see. It's Talmud Lomar.
Yes.
V'nasan Mikol Makom. We learned in a Mishnah, and it says in any case, midalo kasiv vida
Ubiyada.
Ubiyada Yisnahu de Rosh V'nasan Uchsav Lo V'nasan Alma. So let's see, what does that mean? From that which is not written, we know that I don't know what Nihu is.
Okay, so we'll just translate what Rashi's saying over here and see if we could figure out what is Rashi's point over here. Midalog siv, from the fact that it did not write in the pasuk the following words, and these are the two words that Rashi's saying from the fact that it didn't write these words, ubiyada yitneu, and in her hand it shall be put. So what's Rashi trying to explain over here? Rashi's trying to explain where it is that the brisa found in the wording of the pasuk as it is yes written, the halacha that the brisa is deriving. The brisa is deriving that not only is it a good get if it's put in her actual physical hand, but it's also going to be a sufficiently good get if it's put in her enclosure, in her roof, and also in her courtyard. Where do we see that in the words of the pasuk? That's what the brisa is coming to explain. All the brisa says, Talmud Lomar, the reason why we would say that it's good in those other places as well is because it says b'nosan. It says in the pasuk b'nosan, and he will give it. Mikom makom, wherever it is that he gives it. That tells us that it's not good. It's not only good in the hand, but it's also going to be good in other places as well. So now Rashi's scratching his head, and he's thinking to himself, "Why? What else would you like the Torah to write over here? He's got to say that he gave it to her." It's just part of the grammar of the pasuk. It's got to have a word b'nosan. So Rashi said, "Oh, I know what the brisa means." He's saying from the fact that it wrote it nosan b'yada, he placed it, he put it in her hand. That's what it did say. And then Rashi says, and from the fact that it did not say ubiyada yisneu, and in her hand it should be placed. You hear the difference? If you say, and in her hand it should be placed, that's very, very strict. That sounds like the only place that it's going to be a good get is if it's placed in her hand, as opposed to saying, and he put it. Where did he put it? Oh, he put it in her hand. So the Gemora, the Bryce is saying this: the fact that it said it in this way, for Nosan, he put it. We hear, oh, it's not only sufficient if he puts it in her hand, but the point is that he does a nesina, he does a giving. So the giving could also be on the roof. It could also be placing it in the chutzner as well. That's what's bothering Rashi, and that's what he's saying to answer what's bothering him. Okay, so now we continue from the word dorosh in Rashi.
Dorosh in Hasan uchtav lo in Hasan alma. So that the head that he gave, what's uchtav?
Dorosh is talking about he's darshaning.
Oh,
the Bryce is darshaning the following drasha.
Okay, so he's darshaning from the statement b'nasan uchtav, but I don't know what uchtav means.
That we're darshaning that the word v'nasan in the pasuk is the aleph means that it's on. The word nasan in the pasuk is on the word v'kasav la, because they're not right next together in the pasuk. Do you have the pasuk in your Torah or? This should be your pasuk base, the second pasuk in your Torah or Hashalim, which is on the In my Gemora, it's on the bottom left, inner left hand of the page. Inside.
Torah or, let's see. I see Torah or.
Good. So you got two psukim. The Gemara is talking about the second pasuk now.
Okay, so ki yikach ish, that one.
Yeah. So the words that we're looking for are the words on the third line from the end of the lines, where it says v'kasavla, sefer krisis, v'nasan beyada. So we're looking at this word v'kasav la, and we're looking at the word v'nasan.
Okay, so because of law, Sefer Karisus, Inasan Biyada, Vishilta,
The shilcha,
Vishilcha, Mi Beso.
yeah.
He took it from her house.
No, he sent, he
Sent it to
and he sends her from his house. Sends her,
from his house. Oh,
meaning sends her out of the house.
right.
Kosav lo sefer krisis, he writes to her. In other words, this document has to be written specifically for her in mind, and not for somebody else who has a similar name, and then they use it for her because whatever. Sefer krisis. That's what the Chumash calls a bill of divorce. Sefer krisis. It's a sefer which makes a krisis, makes a cutting away the bonds of marriage between these two people. Sefer krisis, and v'nosan, and he puts it biyada, in her hand. Okay, those are the words that Rashi is dealing with over here. And Rashi is saying, drosh, v'nosan, avakosavla, v'nosan. The Gemora understands, the Brisa, that and derives that the word v'nosan, the giving, is going back and referring to the thing that he wrote to her. He wrote something to her, and then it says he gives into her hand, but it doesn't say what he gives into her hand. It seems like Rashi's bothered by that. So Rashi's just is pointing out, I believe, that we are saying that what it is that he gave into her hand is referring to that which the pasuk said just before that he wrote this Sefer Krisis for her. And now Rashi tells us Alma, and therefore we see from this.
Therefore, we see from this.
Mishum Yodo is Rabbi.
Since or because I don't know, he increased it.
It's Rabbi. It's actually there's a modification of this pasuk over here, this Rashi. I have a note that they make an annotation over here. One of the let's see. Ches. Tosus Rush Nosef Mida historic Venosan. You need Venosan. The Rabos Chotzer. Mida historic Venosan the Rabos Chotzer. Okay, so Rashi's saying Alma. So we see from here, Mishum Yoda is Raboy. We see from here that the Mishum over here means on account of this word of Yoda, that which means in her hand is Raboy. There's a riboy, there's an inclusion that the Torah derives that a chutzner will also be included in being a place that the get could be put, and it'll be an effective get. Yisrael means just a riboy, a derivation that the Torah is making from the wording of this pasuk. Okay. And now he's explaining further. If you'll say, well, how does that work exactly, Rashi? Why do you say that? Rashi says, I'll explain right now.
And if it's because of the agency,
Mishum shlichus.
kavar kesiva. This is already written here. The kidetani, like we learned, milamed, that it teaches she ha'isha osa shaliach, that the woman is a messenger.
She could make a messenger to accept the get in her stead.
The kedushin. Oh, and we're learning this from kedushin.
Yes, what it says in kedushin. So Rashi's saying over here, if you'll say, well, Rashi, that we see from there that we're including because of this word, because of this word that we got over here of Nasan, we're saying that the chotzer is included based upon the principle of yad. Mishum yada is raboy. I think I may have said it a little incorrectly last time I mentioned this. What Rashi means over here is Alma, that we see that chotzer is included over here as a place which is an acceptable place to make a get. What the Bryce is saying, how does it work? It's being included as yada, mishum yada, on account of it acting as a yad of the isha, israboy. It's being included as being an effective place, as opposed to the chutzner being a shliach, as opposed to the chutzner being an agent of the isha. Because Rashi says, because if you'll tell me, oh, maybe it's because of shlichus, maybe the chutzner is an effective place to put the get because the chutzner is acting as a shliach of the isha. It's not acting as the yad, the hand of the isha. If you'll say that, says Rashi, Rashi says no. Kfar ksiva hacha. It's already written over here, Kidasanya, as it says. It's already been mentioned that in the like we say in the Brisa, it says v'shilcha. That was actually the last words of the pasuk. V'shilcha mibesa. What's it mean, shilcha? And what do you need to say that? And he will thereby send her out from his house. Good, he gave a get, and obviously that's the end of it. And what do you need this v'shilcha bibesa for? And he sends her out of the house. That's what he just got through doing. He gave her a get. That's what the get does. We understand what a get does. So these words seem to be superfluous. So Rashi is saying that those words, that word of v'shilcha, that already has been used up, that word, to teach us that an isha who's receiving the get, she could make a shliach to receive the get. She doesn't have to receive it herself. She could make a shliach to do so. So therefore, Rashi says, if it's working mitam shlichus, then we would not. What do we do with the word yad? I'm sorry. Not what do we do with the word yad? I keep getting mixed up. It's complicated over here. What do we do with the word v'nosan? With the fact that the Torah wrote it v'nosan biyado. So we're saying that we got these two places to darshan over here, and Rashi says, and since we need that word of v'shilcha mibesa, that was not used to tell me the chotzer is acting like a shliach. That was told me to tell me that the isha could make a shliach to accept the get into the hand of the shliach, right? But this word v'nosan is telling me when you're talking about the isha in her hand, it could be something which is also an extension of her hand, like a chotzer, meaning her chotzer or her enclosure or her roof. So they're two separate drushes, and we need both of them in the pasuk. We use them for different things. So there's no room to learn that this word v'shilcha is telling me that the chotzer is acting as a shliach to acquire the get. It's telling me a different halacha. I think that's why what Rashi's saying over here. Although I wouldn't swear to it.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Oh, wow. We're out of time.
Yeah.
Okay, Phil.
Hey,
Hope you
take
get home
care.
soon.